Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's good to be here. Hello, good morning. Okay, welcome to this monthly webinar. I remember I did some 2 months ago or so, and since then people have begged me to do more of the webinars so that I used to do synod, if some of you remember, in the city of Ibadan, and people travel from everywhere to come to synod, and some of them said this is a platform in which they don't need to travel to be able to join in, and then we can rub minds together and learn a few things. And that is why right now, from this month, every first Saturday of the month, 3 p.m. Nigerian time, you might need to put that on your itinerary. You might need to set an alarm for it, a reminder that 3 p.m. every first Saturday of the month, there is a webinar with Dr. Albert Oduwole. This particular one is a very interesting one. We'll be examining glocalization. Glocalization. I know some of you have never heard the word glocalization before. For some of you, it's a new word, and you're wondering, what does it mean? Glocalization. What does glocalization mean? It's a very interesting word. It's a very important word. It's a new word. You need to understand that in the world today, new words are being formed every day. I'm not sure if you're aware that even the dictionaries are now adding some Nigerian words, some words that are from Nigeria, words that had never existed before in dictionary. So the word glocalization is one of those words. In my own definition of glocalization, I call it having global exploit with local impact, making global exploits with local impact. That is to say, you are having global exploit. You are doing exploit globally. You're touching people in the continents of the earth beyond your immediate vicinity, but at the same time, the local impact is still there. The people in your immediate local vicinity are feeling your impact, but the globe is feeling your exploits. Let me say that again. Your local vicinity is feeling your impact, but the globe is feeling your exploit. I'm talking to people across board today. I know some of you are businessmen, some of you are teachers, some of you are entrepreneurs, some of you are different things. But because my immediate constituency happen to be preachers, and because I'm a man of faith, I'll be using the scripture to explain myself. In Acts chapter 1 and verse 8, this is what the Bible said. It said, you will receive power after the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and you shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. The first word I want you to examine there is the word witness. It says, you'll be witnesses unto me. The world needs to witness you. Now, being a witness does not mean being a preacher, because most of the time it is pastors that preach. They make everything look as if the Bible is only talking to preachers. You can be a witness that marriage works. You can be a witness that you can raise children in this downward spirit of children. You can be a witness that you can do business right and not be a thief, and yet you can live successfully. You can be a witness of several things. So God is saying that you should be a witness unto him. The world have not witnessed. You see, I was telling somebody, I said, please, if your marriage is working, please let people see it as a witness. Don't hide it. Jesus in Matthew chapter 6 said, it's not fair for you to light a candle and put it under the bushel. It does not make sense. If you're going to light a candle, put it on the lampstand. Let everybody encounter it. Don't put it under a bushel. So if your marriage is working, let's say it. If your spiritual life is working, let's say it. Unfortunately, the people that talk more on the social global impact is talking about what is not working. So they make you realize marriage is not working. So a lot of new generations growing up not believing in marriage any longer. Why? Because that's all they see. But if yours is working, then be a witness that it works. I love a slang in Nigerian right now. They say, "It they work." If yours they work, let everybody know that they work. Put it there. Be a witness. So you be a witness to me, both in Jerusalem. I love the way the Amplified put it. The Amplified said, "You shall receive power." So if you're a man of faith like me and you have the Holy Ghost in you, what you have in you is power. A lot of us don't even understand the power that we have. It's a powerful thing. It said, "You shall receive power." Amplified now explained that power in 3 dimensions. Amplified said that power is number one, ability, number two, efficiency, number three, might. I wish I have time to explain all that to you. He said you will receive ability, efficiency, and might. So you will receive ability for glocalization. So you as a man of faith that has received the Holy Ghost, you don't have a right to say, "I don't have what it takes to glocalize. I don't have what it takes to touch the globe and still have local impact." You have no right to say that, because the Holy Spirit in you is power to give you ability, efficiency, and might. Many a times our confession is wrong. People say things like, "I'm not equipped for it." You are equipped for it. So people say, "Well, these days of social media, I'm not equipped for social media." You have been given power. That power includes ability, efficiency, and might. There is nothing you put your mind to that you cannot do. Because once you have ability, so some people are like, "Well, I didn't go to school for it." Many of the things I'm doing right now, I did not go to school for it. I didn't. I tell you, I lie now. Didn't go to school for it. So what I went to school for is not what I'm doing now at all. It's a tangent to what I'm doing now. But because I have the Holy Ghost, I've received the power, which is the ability, efficiency, and might, according to Amplified Version, to be a witness. To be a witness. So you have the ability, you are able, you can do it. You have the efficiency, you can be efficient, and you have the might given to you by the Holy Ghost to be a witness. Witness that your marriage can work. Witness that you can live a successful life as a Christian. Witness that you might be able, you can raise children well. Witness that people can laugh and still have a good time and still be a good moral agent. And then the Bible now says you are going to be witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. It shows you that from the beginning, that was the mindset of Jesus. That is witnesses. That is who you are. You are his witness. That his power can live in you to get tremendous results. So his plan is that his witness will not be just local. He said you can start local here in Jerusalem, but once you start in Jerusalem, let your attention be that you're from here, you will take over Judea. From Judea, you move to Samaria. From Samaria to the uttermost parts of the earth. Oh my God, what a good vision of localization. From the beginning, he gave them a vision. He said, "Well, your sight might be here in Jerusalem, but your vision should be from Jerusalem to Judea, Judea to Samaria, Samaria to the utmost part of the earth." So your sight might be local, but your vision must be global. Your sight might be local, but your vision must be global. Now, hear me and hear me. You can make global exploits with local impact. So many a times, the easiest way to start, which I'm going to be explaining to you later on how to start, the easiest way to start is to start local and go global. You start local, you go global. But sometimes it's very interesting and surprising that some people start global and go local. That is an exception. And because teachers don't teach exception, they teach the norm. I'm not going to go too much into the exception because not many of us will be able to start go global before we start local. But at least most of us can start local, like Jesus predicted. It's a start from Jerusalem, move to Judea, move to Samaria, then you get to the utmost part of the earth. That is where your exploit should be, but your impact must be felt locally. There are two mistakes anybody living in 2020 AC 2020 after Corona pandemic. There are two mistakes you can be making. Number one mistake you can be making is to focus on being local champion in a global world. That would be a great mistake. God's plan for you is not for you to be a local champion in a global world. The world has changed. The world is now a global village. Later on, I'll be explaining to you a term that has become economic term. It become geographic term called butterfly effect. How it is generally believed that sometimes some of the typhoon and the catastrophe that happens sometimes in far places like America is caused by the flapping of wings of butterfly in Tokyo. I know you find that difficult to believe, but when you are done now, you go to your Google, make sure God and Google are your best friends. God and Google. No matter what people say to you, if you don't hear it from God, check it in Google. Google will tell you that butterfly effect is real, that the flapping of wings of butterfly in Tokyo sometimes cause the disasters that we find in America, in North America. It's surprising, but it's true. So it's a mistake for you to focus on being a local champion in a global world. The world has changed. It's like a global village. So why stay in your room winking to yourself? You know you're doing something the world won't know you can do better. The second mistake is focusing on only global exploits at the expense of local impact. So two mistakes we can make 2020 after Corona AC is number one, you focus on being a local champion in the global world, or you are focusing on global exploits at the expense. And I'm going to tell you why that is wrong, at the expense of local impact. No, the right thing for you to do is to start with local inside, but start with globe in vision. Start with local insight, but start with globe in vision. That is to say, from the time you're starting local inside, your vision is global. I remember when we started What Ablaze Mission International, June the 1st was the inauguration, 1996. That's exactly 24 years plus now. The name was What Ablaze Mission International. Though my office was a local kitchen in a house in a place called Eleyele Ibadan, the main street of Eleyele Road. That is where Olubokun restaurant was. So the kitchenette actually, it's not a kitchen, it's a kitchenette, was my office. But because we had the globe in the vision, though we have local inside, we still work with our vision. Very, very important. So the first mistake you can make is being a local champion in the global world. And then the second one, you focus on global exploits and the expense of local impact. Let me give you an example of that according to Solomon. Solomon was a king, a preacher, a wise man with a very large family. He must have seen a lot of things and must have acquired a lot of wisdom. Solomon said in Proverbs 17:24, he said, wisdom is before him that has understanding, but the eyes of a fool is in the ends of the earth. Proverbs 17:24, the King James Version. It's wisdom. A man that's understanding, wisdom is already before him. A man that's understanding, he has his local inside. But he said, this is what a fool does. A fool's mind is only in the ends of the earth. He's not thinking of local, he's only dreaming global. And it's difficult for you to go global without being local first. The English Revised Version put it in a beautiful way. English Revised Version. He said, intelligent people think about what needs to be done here and now. Intelligent people. The way they think is, what can I do here and now? Yeah, my vision is to the ends of the earth. My vision is to touch the globe. That was exactly what happened to me. My vision had always been Word Ablaze. If you look at the name Word Ablaze Mission International, that's been the name of our mission. But I knew that I didn't have a passport, I didn't have visas for global then. So all I could do is to do local insight, but global in vision. So it's like intelligent people think about what needs to be done here and now. But fools are always dreaming of faraway places. That's what fools do. Fools. So I've met some people. I'll give you an example. When I was starting my ministry, I met some people that said to me, they said, "What are you doing here?" Two of them were my friends. They actually helped me to move things to my new office, a table I got from my dad, a cabinet I inherited from my brothers, a fan that was given to my eldest brother, who happens to be 4 years older than I am, that was given to him when he was born. So you can imagine that if not, I don't have respect, that fan was even older than myself. Where I come from culturally, I shouldn't call that fan by name, I should call it Boda. So those are the things I had in the office. And one of the guys looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm starting my ministry." He shook his head. He said, "You can start this small. His plan is to go global. He's yet to go global now. I'm sorry, 24 years, almost 5 years after, he's yet to go global." So he's a fool who is always dreaming of faraway places without thinking of the local impact he can make here and now. Proverbs 17:24, the easy to read version. Okay, so you need to think here and now. What can I do here and now, though my vision is global? So, how do I work with local insight, but with global vision? I want to talk to you about 5 reasons why you need to start here and now. 5 reasons why you can't afford to wait until then. Number one is that the present is your purchasing power in the future. Your present is your purchasing power to buy there and later. So if you use here and now well, then you can buy there and later. You can, but you need to start now. You see, if I want to fight Mike Tyson, and I say I'm going to fight Mike Tyson, but this is my winning hand. It is one blow, seven die. You know what's called one blow, seven die? So I say, but I want you to hang it for me. I don't want to use it for 3 months. I don't want to use it. I want to keep it so that when it is time to fight Mike Tyson, I just give you one blow, boom, and we die 7 times. How many of you know that I was already dead? Because by the time they release the hand will be useless. If I'm going to fight Mike Tyson with this hand, then I start to use it. Don't wait until you are global to do the things you are meant to do. For me, I'm going to give you examples later on, but let me just drop this now. For me, it is surprising that there is no country I entered without my materials entering there first. Let me say that again. There is no country I entered without my materials getting there first. My first night in the UK, I was shocked to see the room I was put, my books and my tapes and newsletters. My first time in South Africa, the same thing. There is a country called Seychelles. Seychelles is a small country, is an island actually. And my first time in Seychelles, I was surprised to find that my materials I got in there first. Maybe the only country I didn't enter with my materials getting there first is Botswana in South African region. But every other country I've entered since then, my materials got there first. The materials I produced locally, but yet with local insight, but with the global vision. Number two reason why you need to start here and now is that God plans for you is to bloom where you are planted first. God's plan for you is to bloom where you are planted first. God has a reason for planting you where He has planted you. So if He has planted you here, then you need to bloom and blossom there. That was why Jesus Christ, sometimes we say, I'm not sent to those people, I'm sent to the house of Israel. You need to understand that God has a reason why He wants you to start in Judea, then move to Samaria, to start in Jerusalem, move to Judea, move to Samaria, and to the uttermost part of the earth. Number three, this one I learned from Bishop Francis Waleoke. I was in one of his meetings in those days. I wasn't known like I am known now then. And so I went to his meeting. I sat at the back, was his minister's conference. that it does on a monthly basis. In those days, nobody recognized me when I go. Today, when I go, he puts me in a seat beside him, and almost always we have me speak. You see, it's a gradual process. Don't jump ahead of your time. But you see, if I waited until this day, I will never get this day if I've not done what I was doing then. So then I used to go and I sat at the back one day and he said something that blessed me. He said, the light that we shine farthest will shine brightest near home. Let me say that again. The light that we shine farthest will shine brightest near home. The light. So if that light is going to shine farthest, then the brightest of it will be near home. So if your light will shine further to the ends of the earth, then it must be brightest near home. Your impact local must be stronger enough before you think of going global. So number four, life is in phases, men are in sizes. Life is in phases. I started out, all I could do at that phase of life was a newsletter. Some of you might know that newsletter. It used to be two colors in front, one color at the back. It used to cost me 1,100, and I nearly died looking for the money. Oh my word. It wasn't a joke. I mean, I'm talking about 24 years ago, 24 years ago. Yeah, it wasn't a joke getting the money to produce the monthly newsletter. But that was all I could do. So I took it. My vision was to write a book, but I couldn't afford a book in those days. So I said, okay, if I can't afford a book, let me write the book in newsletters. Invariably, when the money came, I just packed all the newsletters and I made 5 books out of it. I'm not joking. 5 books out of my consistent newsletters because I knew I started with local insight, but with global in vision. So life is in phases, men are in sizes, but make sure that in your phase of life, you are the correct size of man. That is something you can do now. You can't get on television now, but you have a phone on WhatsApp. That is something you can do. Finally, the reason why you need to stay here and now is that local mistakes might embarrass you, but global mistakes will erase you. Let me say that again. Local mistakes might embarrass you. If you make local mistakes, you can be embarrassed. But you see, it's in the 4 walls of your locality where they are quick to forget and forgive. But you see, if you make that kind of a mistake on a global scene, you are not only embarrassed, you are erased. You are done. That is why it's very important for you to start local now, so you make all your mistakes now as you start to grow. So, what am I saying? Thank you, Pastor Bello. I'm saying you need to start local and grow global. You need to also understand that life is a race. Life is a race. The only difference between real life race and the normal race on the track is on the track they say at your mark, get set, go. Here, somebody is calling at your mark for us. We don't even know our mark sometimes. But you can start from where you are and make your own mark and start to move on. Another thing I want you to know in laying foundation, you might not be able to change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight, says Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, you might not be able to change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Jim Rohn said that. So if you cannot change your destination overnight, change your direction overnight. So change your direction with some of the things I'm saying, and will affect your destination globally. You must make a lifetime commitment to growth, because when you stop growing, you start dying. So you're starting local. But make up your mind, I will still keep on growing. Like I told you, I started with newsletters, then I moved to books, then I move and I move and I move and I move. And that is very, very important. Then Eleanor Roosevelt said something very powerful. Former President USA. He said, your real philosophy is not expressed in words, but in decisions you make. So if your philosophy is that I'm starting with local insight, but global invasion, it is not your words that makes us realize what you're doing. It is your decisions. I want you to start to make some decisions, like I'll start mentioning them right now. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to differentiate between goals and growth. If your focus is on goals, you may eat it, but it does not guarantee growth. So for somebody like me, when I was starting out, it was not just about goals, it was also about growth. I was starting local, but I knew I was going global. So I set some growth strategies, not only goals for me to be able to go global when it's time to go global. I mean, and it does not matter where you are from. Somebody said your background must not determine that your back will always be on the ground. No, don't focus only on where you are from. Don't focus only on your goals. If you set goals, you hit it, but it doesn't guarantee growth. So they were talking about somebody they said was born in mud, but he died in marble. Let that be your testimony. It does not matter how you are born, make sure you die better. In fact, I love to say the future is not a place we're going to. That's one of the problems. We're going into the future, we're going to the future. No, it's not a place we're going to, it's a place we create. And John Maxwell said, if you don't create the future you want, you have to endure the future you get. Very powerful. If you don't create the future you want, you have to endure the future you get. John Maxwell said that. And so, having said that, set goals, but also in your goals grow. Let me give you an example. Set goals, but in your goals grow. So my goals when I was starting local was also to grow into global. I'll give you just a very funny example about money. I said to myself, I said, I'm going to make my first million. That's the first goal. Then I'm going to give my first million. Second goal, then I'm going to start with 30 millions. Third goal. Did you see that? So it's not only goal, but it's goals that have growth in it. So I said to myself, I'm starting in my office here, which is a kitchenette in a restaurant, the only restaurant belonging to Mrs. Family. I'm starting my office here. But from here, I'll move to a bigger office. Then one day, I'll build or buy my own office. Then after that, we'll have international offices. And that I have done already now. So I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking from an international operational base in Toronto, Canada. So we have the base here, we have in Nigeria, and all that and all that. So it is possible to do that. But for you to do that, there are 5 questions. My take-home assignment for you today is 5 questions you need to answer. I can't answer them for you. You need to answer it yourself. And to answer it, you have to examine your life right now. I know what Socrates said. Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living, and the unlived life is not worth examining. Let me say that again. The unexamined life is not worth living, and the unlived life is not worth examining. Socrates said that. So if your life is going to be meaningful, it has to be an examined life. And if you don't live your life to the fullest, then nobody will examine it. So these are 5 questions you need to ask yourself between now and the next webinar to help you to know if you are setting goals that will make you grow, and if you can start local insight with global in mind. Number 1 question: do I like what I'm doing here and now? That's where to start from. Do I like what I'm doing here and now? Because somebody said if it's not working at home, don't export it. If you don't like what you're doing, it will be difficult to export it. Here and now, right now. I put something years ago. I put it on my Facebook page as yesterday, and I was in Lagos today, London tomorrow. I'll be in Maryland, and the day after, I'm going to be in Virginia Beach doing a meeting. And I said, I love my life. I wasn't expecting the reactions I got. I got 2 kinds of reactions. Number 1, some people wrote me back and said, you love your life. I wonder how you can love your life because they don't love their lives. I felt pity for them. But the other one I wasn't expecting is the lashback. People were angry. Why won't you love your life? When you're using church money to travel everywhere. And I laugh because the meetings I was doing, the people invite me bought the ticket. But you see, sometimes instead of people to even ask, how are you doing it? They are stupid enough to be abusing people they should be learning from. Some of you are competing with people you should be taking comprehension from. You are fighting people you should be learning from. That is a set of delusion. So I'm trying to say, ask yourself, do I like what I'm doing here and now? Because somebody said something very powerful. He said, do what I like, find what you love to do, and you never need to work another day in your life. I love what I'm doing now. You see, yesterday I did a meeting for Pastor Armstrong online on how to fight infidelity. Then after that, I did Love Clinic for about 1 hour. I took 30 minutes break to do prayer meeting. All those meetings, thousands of people attended online. I mean, thousands. But you know the funny, both on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and MixLR, thousands. You know the funniest part of it is that that is how my days are normally. Sometimes 3 meetings like that in a day, even in the lockdown. Before the lockdown, it is like 3 nations in a month. And I love it. Sincerely, it's not stressful for me. I enjoy what I do. So the one question you need to ask yourself, do I like what I'm doing here and now? I mean, that is why First Corinthians 13:8, he says it's only love that never fails. If you don't love what you do, you will fail at it. If you don't love what you do, you will fail at it. So do I like what I'm doing here right now? Number two, if you number one is no, then what will you like to do here and now? What would you have loved to do? You need to put that in mind. Me, I'm doing sport since I left school. I didn't pursue crude oil, I pursue fresh oil. Because I knew what I love. So if you don't, then what will you have loved? Somebody put it in a beautiful way. He said there are 2 most important dates in the life of every man. Number one, the day you are born. Number 2, the day you discover why. 2 most important dates in the life of every man. Number 1, the day you are born. Number 2, the day you discover why. The day you discover why you are born is the second most important day in your life. And how will you discover that? When you discover what you love to do. So 5 questions you must ask yourself. Do I love what I'm doing here and now? Number 2, if I don't love it, what would I have loved to do? I'm not saying you drop what you're doing now, because you see, there's what I call carefulness of change. If you're on a bicycle and you need to change, you just change. If it's a car, you drive a little bit to get space and change. If you're a lorry, you drive a little bit longer to look for white space to change. If you're a train, you know you're on the wrong track, but you keep on going until you get a track that can make you to change. If it's a ship, oh my God, you will eventually change, but it will take you time. So if you're already married with children, I'm not saying go and resign tomorrow, but I'm saying start to work towards that. So number 1, do I like what I'm doing here and now? So if I want to have impact with local insight and global invasion, if I want to glocalization, global exploits with local impact, then definitely, number 1, I need to ask myself, do I even like what I'm doing here right now? Number 2, what would I love to be doing? Number 3 is very important. Am I equipped for what I want to be doing? Or what I'm doing now, am I globally equipped for it? What I'm doing now and what I want to be doing. My first time in America, it was Paul that picked me from the airport. It was Dulles Airport, Washington. Long ago, I think that was 2001 or so. And then, you know, I looked around, I laughed. He said to me, he said, Reverend, welcome. First time in America. I said, no, I've been here several times. He laughed, said, Reverend, you have never been here. I know you've never been here. I said, I've come several times. He said, when did you come? I said, I've come several times in my dreams. Because from the start, I started preparing myself with the globe in mind. The first time I preached, people rushed at me. The first place I preached in America. And they said to me, they said, wow, so which part of America do you live in? I said, I live in Ibadan, Nigeria, West Africa. They said, no way. How come you know about grand buses and all your example? I mean, when you're talking about drink, you're not calling them minerals. You're calling them soda like we do here. I said, why do you think I've been watching film? So every time I watch movies, it's part of my equipping myself. One man said to me, he says, only you and Reverend Victor, they may be comfortable to bring into our church, because when other Africans come, our people can't understand what they say. Their tongue is too thick. It's because they didn't prepare themselves for the global world. So am I equipped for what I'm doing or want to be doing? Somebody put it like this: Jim Sunday, an American football player, he said, discover your uniqueness, then discipline yourself to develop it. So it's not enough for you to discover your uniqueness. You have to discipline yourself to develop it. So number 1, do I like what I'm doing here and now? Number 2, what would I love to be doing here and now and export to the globe? Number 3, am I equipped globally for what I want to be doing or what I'm doing now? Number 4, do I have the needed network? Because you see, It will shock you that your net worth is a product of your network. That's what your net worth is. Mediocres look for work, achievers create networks. Do I have the desired network for what I intend to export globally? Do I have it? You see, who you are is who you attract. So if you don't have it, become that kind of a person. Become the kind of a person, those kind of a person we want to hang around. And it does not need money in your pocket. Solomon said, if there is grace in your lips, even the king will want to be your friend. So it's not about I'm loaded in my pocket. No, it's I'm loaded in my mind. Do I have the needed network? One of the questions you need to ask yourself constantly is what kind of relationships have I been attracting lately? What kind of relationships? Somebody said all men has come. No, those are the kind of men you attract. The only factor that is constant in all the men is you. Check yourself. There must be something you are doing wrong. If you want to be around growing people, you have to become a growing person yourself. If you want to be around growing people, if you want to be around global people, in your mind become global first. My first opportunity, I didn't seek for it. I went to sit somewhere and the person saw me and said, I've been meeting in Botswana and I think you fit into the meetings. Let's go together. It's because the person looked at me and knew I was already global, though local. I was already global, though local. But it's not enough that I like what I was doing. It's not enough that I've developed myself globally in readiness for what I'm doing. Unfortunately, two of us went for that first meeting, me and a friend of mine. I had to preach with them, apostle that invited us, and he to sing. Unfortunately, it couldn't flow because all the songs he was trying to sing there were local songs that Botswana people can relate with. He had not gotten himself ready for contemporary music. I learned a lot from there. So you need to get yourself ready for things like that. I remember the largest Pentecostal church in that place is Open Heavens Pentecostal Church. And I had the privilege of speaking there twice among other churches. And everywhere I preached, it was with a loud applause. Why? Because I had prepared myself for the global, and thank God for the network that made it happen. So you need to look for people that are already doing what you want to do globally and attach yourself to them. Look for people that are already doing what you are dreaming of doing and attach yourself to them. Why? Because listen to what I'm about to say, that's very important. Company helps contact. Company helps contact. Company helps content. So your company will help your content. So if you hang around global people, your content will be global because the things they say, the way they act. If you are the most advanced in your group, you're in the wrong group, get out of there. Go look for a company that is better than you. They will help your content, And you see, there's some company you don't even need to belong to. I see what people paste on WhatsApp update and Instagram, and I laugh. If you belong to that kind of company, walk away. There are some companies, if you are not on the table, you will be on the menu. I don't know if you get that. If you are not at the table, you are going to be on the menu because if you are not there, it is you they will talk about from beginning to the end. Those are not the kind of people you need to hang around with. Get yourself mentors. Mentors will save you from several tormentors. Mentoring is the best form of learning in this world. Why? Because you get the learning without paying the tuition. The mentor paid the tuition, you just get the learning. I don't believe experience is the best teacher. I believe mentoring is the best teacher. Why? Because with experience, you are going to do the exam before you learn the lesson, but with mentoring, you learn the lesson before you face the exam. Finally, number 5 question, you need to ask yourself your take-home questions. Am I willing to pay the price? This is key. There is a price for that kind of glocalization life. If you don't pay the price today, you cannot get the price tomorrow. Everybody you see with a price now paid the price once. Everybody with a price now paid the price once. Everybody with a price now paid the price once. You see, once you put a ceiling, listen to what I'm about to say. This is by Charles Schwab, one of the richest men of his days. Charles Schwab said, once you put a ceiling to what you will do, you have put a limit to what you can do. Oh my God, I wish I have time to explain this. Once you put a ceiling to what you will do, you have already put a limit to what you can do. If you put a ceiling to what you will do, to the price you will pay, then to the price you will pay, then you have already put a limit to the price you will get. The grass looks greener on the other side, but the work is more on that side. That is why it is greener. So you need to pay the price for you to get the price. I've paid a lot of price along the way. I've paid a lot of price along the way. I've paid price to get to where I am. I've made sacrifices. I'm making being here now, I've never been separated from my family for 4 months before, never. But right now, I've been separated for 4 months from my family because we're building a base of ministry in Toronto, Canada. It's a big price for me to pay, very ill. Not to talk of living expenses, so that means that you are spending in dollars and you are a Nigerian with Naira. It's a huge price to pay. Not seeing my children and my family for 4 months and all that. When I started traveling, if you know the price I have to pay, it is huge and humongous. But if you are not willing to pay the price today, you will not get the price tomorrow. And that is very, very important. So having said that, if you have a question, you can put your questions down now. I will answer some of them very soon because it's obvious I can't cover the whole of the content today. Next month, we might have to do glocalization too, because I want to teach you how to use social media, which is the simplest medium for you to be able to affect both local and global. I'm going to tell you how I did it. I'm going to give you examples of people like Matthew Todd that grew in over just one night from having less than 10 people to over 100,000 people on social media. I'm going to tell you how during the lockdown, I added Instagram followers of 10,000 people. I have not been on YouTube. I didn't have my own channel on YouTube, but I did it last month and already have 500 people. I'm going to teach you what I did and how I did that. But in the interim, so you remember I said there are two mistakes people make. So if you have a question, start sending it in. If I have time, I want to take like 10 minutes to answer your question, which will be in the next 8 minutes. The number one mistake people make is focusing on being local champion in the global world. I told you there's something called butterfly effect. Butterfly effect was coined by a meteorologist, Edward Lorenz. Edward Lorenz discovered that there could be chaos, weather chaos, that is not expected in extreme part of the world like North America because of the flapping of wings of butterfly in Tokyo. That is exactly what the world had become. It's a global village. Can you imagine that a pandemic that started December 2019 in Wuhan in China locked down the entire world? So if you don't even believe in glocalization before, it's time for you to believe in it. That everybody had to lock down now basically because they are now afraid of what can happen if they don't lock down. I'm talking to you about glocalization. Let me start to give you some take home points, some key points. Number one, glocalization is having global exploits with local impact. Very, very important. Acts chapter 1, verse 8, it said, but you shall receive power. And before I said that power is ability, efficiency, and might. Ability, efficiency, and might. When the Holy Ghost has come upon you. So if you are a man of faith and you have the Holy Ghost, stop saying you don't have the ability, you don't have the efficiency. Stop saying you don't have the might. You have all those three. It's already in you to be witnesses, not to be a preacher. You can be a witness. One of the things I try to witness to on social media is that marriage can work. It does not mean that we don't have issues. It means that in spite of the issues, we can make it work. It's one of the things I start to mirror and witness to is that with the help of God, you can still raise godly children in this down world. It's possible. So you be a witness. What witness you want to be in the world? Then you say you start from Jerusalem, you move to Judea, Samaria, and to the uttermost part of the earth. So you can start with local insight, but make sure it's global in vision. Your vision is not limited by your side. So start with local insight, then with global as a vision. Then don't make the mistake of focusing on being local champion in the global world. This world has changed. It's a global world now. I remember Easter program we did online. As of today, we have almost 10,000 people that had watched that Easter program online. Our cathedral in Ibadan is a big cathedral, but if we put chairs everywhere, including the car park, maybe we'll see 3,000 people. But you see, 3,000 compared to 9,000. We had 3 times more watched us on Easter Sunday than people that came, that can come physically. And now we have people from all over the world. So don't be a local champion. You can start local, but make up your mind to go global. Number two, when all you do is focus on the end of the earth at the expense of your local impact. Proverbs 17:24, easy to read version, say intelligent people think about what needs to be done here and now, and fools are always dreaming about faraway places. So you need to start. Then I told you that there are some things you need to consider. The reason why you need to start here and now, I gave you 5 reasons. One of them is the present, is the purchasing power for the future. You can bloom where you're planted. The light that will shine farthest will shine brightest near home. Life is in phases, men and sizes. Local mistakes might embarrass you, but global mistakes will erase you. So it's very important to make all your mistakes now. Life is a race. Start from where you are at your mark, then keep on growing. They cannot change your destiny overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And if you change your direction overnight, then you will change your destination eventually. You must make a lifetime commitment for growth, because if you stop growing, you start dying. If you stop growing, you start dying. Your philosophy, according to Eleanor Roosevelt, former president in America, is not expressing words, but decisions you make. So from today, you need to make good decisions. And I explained to you between goals and growth and all that. Then I started talking about questions you need to ask yourself. Number one, the examined life is not what living. So number one, do I like what I'm doing now? Number two, if I don't like it, what do I want to be doing? Number three, am I equipped to start local and then eventually go global? Number four, do I have the needed network? Network is key. Number five, am I willing to pay the price? And all that and all that. So many things to say, so little time to say them. Let me pick the questions that we have already. I'm going towards the questions now. So if you still have a question, please send it immediately. How can you read the world without a quality phone or camera to produce quality video? Thank you. Very good question. One of the things you need to realize is that's why I say start local. Maybe you, if you don't have that kind of a phone, the people you want to reach is not in the world. The people you want to reach is on your WhatsApp. Do you know that I did one WhatsApp post? It was initially a WhatsApp post that went global. It was a WhatsApp post. I remember one time it was just a small design, a small design that I put in, and the design was, if you marry right, you have a prayer partner. You marry wrong, you have a prayer point, and all of a sudden it went everywhere. People started pasting it everywhere. One time I quoted something in church. I said, God does not give you naira. God supplies to you the power that is convertible into any currency. Once I put that, it went viral. So don't disturb yourself. If you don't have what you don't have, use what you have on your way to where you are going. What do you do to drastically multiply your audience in a short while over social media? I'm going to tell you 5 steps next webinar, 5 steps that I have used that have multiplied. There are several things people can use. Wish Puppy had over 2 million people, just showing people money it didn't work for, okay? But sure, guaranteed steps I've used to drastically increase my social media presence. I'm going to be sharing that with you in the next webinar. By the time this lockdown started, I got very intentional, with social media. I wasn't as intentional as I should have been, but I started getting very intentional. And just in a period of about the lockdown, which is about 3 months now, I added 10,000 people, and I'll let you know that. Yes, how do you make your social media different, so it doesn't look like everyone doing the same thing? Beautiful. That is one of the points I'm going to teach you next webinar, the cost. I remember what David said when his brothers told him to shut up. What are you doing here? Why are you trying to find that? He says, they are not a cost. You need to know why you're on social media. There is a young lady now that is causing sensation on social media by doing art with food. I don't know if you've ever seen the BBC had interviewed her, and everybody doing art with food. So we use amala and begri and ewedu to draw a woman. He has a cause. He has a reason why she is there. He has one reason why she is there. It is different from everybody. There is a lady, she used to be a student in Covenant University. Now she charges a million for you to appear on her Instagram page for a minute, 1 million naira. And she said she's so busy she can accommodate everybody. And what does she do? She started with mimicking people. That's how she started. She would mimic being an Indian, a Nigerian, mimic Nigerian moms, mimic students, mimic everybody. So just in the place of mimicking, she had gone that far. So it's very important for you to know that you need uniqueness, but it depends on your cause. Why am I there? I'm there to be an inspiration, and that have been of a tremendous help. Sir, since I need to start local, but I need to have a local mentor for us in that field, if yes, can that mentor be changed, not dropped when I become global? Yes, at different point in time, God might send different people to your life to move you up. God might send different people to your life to help your content. It does not mean we are not of them that drop a mentor for another. No. But if God send people to your life for a reason and for a season, embrace them. But never forget the people that gave you your initial platform. Never forget the people that were there for you when there was no name to be celebrated. I was a student when I pastored actively for the first time under the ministry of Reverend Victor Adeyemi. It remains my pastor till next year. It remains my pastor till forever. But along the line, I've met the likes of Bishop Francis Waleoke, even his own pastor, Reverend George Adegboye, Apostle Sunday Popola, and several other people like that, Bishop Taiwo Adelako. But yet, my primary mentor, Reverend Sam Adeyemi, but yet my primary mentor remains Reverend Victor Adeyemi, who happens to be the youngest of them all, but it was one that was there for me when there was nothing, when there was no form, no comeliness. So what I recommend is that please just make sure you don't do that. Beautiful. What kind of books will you recommend to read during this period? Number one, read your Bible, very interestingly. Number two, read my book, Seven Things Champions Do Before Breakfast. It will help you tremendously. Number three, that book is, you can get it from my office. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Jumia. Number three, get my book, Positive Approach to Business. It will teach you how to innovate in this time. Number four, read Tough Times Never Last, Tough People Do. Interestingly, I read it myself during this lockdown because I remember the content of the book and I went to get it again. It's a good book. It's going to help you tremendously. And some other books like Faith and Confession by Charles Capps, it's helped me tremendously during this time. Beautiful question. How do you carry along your partner or spouse if you need to make drastic changes? How do you get them to see the vision with you? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. Because you are already one, you are joined together, and your vision should be the same. Because when there are two visions, it becomes division. Di means two in Latin, and division leads to division, and division leads to divorce, two moving apart by force. So what do? Number one, sit your partner down and start to share the vision with your partner. With TJ and I, we've come a long way in this direction. Many a times, the vision I have is too big for her. It looks too drastic. Maybe me, I am too, I mean, like my friend Busiaro just said, himself and my other friend, they were walking towards our cathedral from my office, and Busi said, listen, this thing is so big. How did Femi even think of this? And Busi said, it's always been dreaming big. So my wife knows that. And it's not easy for her because she, on the other hand, is more conservative and she believes let's do things gradually. But me, for example, I want to do it big. So I will need to sit down and try to convince her, first of all, especially when I've had God, to make her realize, look, I had God about this thing is going to work. And most of the time, when I do things like that, she supports me and we're able to move on. So please find a common ground and sit down and talk about it very, very thoroughly because things are easier done when both of you have the same vision and you are moving in the same direction. Because anybody that is going along with you, but it's not going in your direction, is a distraction. Anybody that is going along with you, but is not going in your direction, is a distraction. It's terrible when you have to carry your distraction along with you. So, husband and wife, you need to sit down and talk about it very clearly. I remember years ago, I attended a meeting by Miles Moreau of the Blessed Memory. And Miles Moreau said, look at the 5 people closest to you very carefully. If I told us to write it down, I was in that meeting. In that time, our ministry, so I wrote down the people that were my wife, Biodo Lusanya, Duke Icheto son, Biodo Akintayo, Dunamis Okunawa. I think that was about it that time. And he said, look at it very closely. He said, that's your future. These are the people closest to me in our ministry. I didn't like the future I saw. That meeting ended. I called everybody to my house for a meeting. I said, I learned Myanmar's Moro said something to us today. He said we should write down the name of 5 people closest to us in our organization. Look at it closely. That's our future. I said, I just did that and I don't like this future. I don't like this future. So it's either you change or I change you. Our future is to start local, but to go global, we need to start to do things differently. And from then up to now, we started making changes. Thank God, all of them cooperated with me. Some of them are on their own now. Like Biodun Gintayo, Dunamis Okuno was doing well also, because he also learned some of the things I was teaching in those days when my vision became clearer that we cannot get there from here. Somebody said he was driving one day and he asked a young girl, excuse me, I'm going to Sunderland. How do I get there? And the girl looked and said, I'm sorry, you can't get there from here. One of the things you need to ask yourself, now from here, can I get there? From what I'm doing now, local, can I go global? It's very important. Next week, I'll be teaching you, if you are global, to turn global audience to local. If you're local, out of from local, build global impact. It's very easy, it's very important, but you need to hear this. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. If there's any other question, take it. If not, I want you to get ready. Please do me a favor, recommend this YouTube channel to everybody. If you're watching us on YouTube and you have not signed in and subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. These are some of our social media expression. We have this one, we have the prayer meeting, which we did last week, first Friday of every month. You can see that it's still on the Facebook page. We have one for women opening the womb with blessings. Get your wife, get your daughter, get your ladies to be informed. This is my wife, Reverend TJ, first Monday of every month. It's also on Facebook and YouTube. Then, of course, we have Love Clinic on Instagram every Friday for Nigerian 8 to 9 p.m. So follow me on all the expressions, and I'm sure you're going to get there. So please recommend this platform to everybody. Tell them to go to YouTube. Some people miss it, and some of them are trying to send me a message while we are on that they miss this, they miss that. Just tell all of them to go to my YouTube page. They can get there. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Let me say thank you, Shion Shibeso. Thank you, Pastor Caleb Adewumi, all the way from Ireland. Thank you for being here with us. Pastor, Jeremy Davis, thank you. Those are some of the best cameramen I know. Larachi Quendu, thank you. Biodo Lucia, thank you. To Lucia, thank you. Thank you. Tokwe Oyeneye, good to have you here. Ice the Church, Mo Wanino Luwa Beshua, thank you for commenting. Bebo Tunde, Adeboyejo, Peter Sogogo, my daughter, good to have you here. Anthony Tuguma, Victor Koloro, Bumi Obavade, thank you. Felicia, Nilogo, my sister, good to have you here. Lara Chukundu, thank you. Kokwe Adeyefa, Lekan Debayo, Oluwadamilola Jagbe, Yinka Obafisoye, my daughter. Lima, Josephine, Shegun Salako, good to have you here. Olaleko Ojo, Mrs. Oluwamayego, thank you. Eunice, thank you. Pastor Eunice, Femi James, Damilola, Odeyemi, Oluwadamilola Jagbe, good to have you, Dami. Good to have you, Samson Nawomi, Sheyi Stephen, Dr. Tenny Taiwo from the US, California. Thank you, David Jay. Elder Go, Michael Arimo from Baltimore, USA. Thank you. Mopala Jinaike, my daughter. Temilolani from Philippines. Thank you. Makari Patrick. Good to have you here. William Strong from Ibadan. Thank you. Biodun Adenito. Adonla. Thank you. Thank you, Chiwindu. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Pastor Shiwadishe from Baltimore, USA. Shegmalala Day. Oh, my word. Thank you. All the way from Mina. Thank you, dear Latiba, Nina Zugo. Another Kochugundi Bumikola Wale from Calgary. Thank you, the Bura Oyejibe Similola. Thank you. Thank you. Tony Olubadewo. Pastor Tony, you need to get in touch with me. Oh, Pastor Tony Olubade was one of my initial supporters. You have abandoned me now. You need to get in touch with me. We've come a long way. I celebrate you greatly. Akintunde Akinshode, Turaya Babajide, Folabi Babajide. Pastor, thank you for being there. Sheguamo, Lekonlawa, Yolu Afijebe. Thank you, everybody. Shegun Akikugbe. Oh, Shegun Akikugbe all the way from the UK. So many names I'm unable to mention while they are dating. Thank you, Yemi Shonaya. Yemi Shonaya. So many names. I need to go now. It's already 11 a.m. Thank you, everybody. Go back. You might think you had what I said, but faith does not come from having had faith coming from hearing and hearing. Go back and hear it again and again, and I'm sure it's going to be a blessing to you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate and celebrate you. God bless you. Bye. Thank you, everybody.